I'm Steve Magnante here in Bogart, Georgia at the Tony Townley Collection, which will be sold in its entirety on October 24th and 25th by Richmond Auctions. And let's start with this very cool 1970 Plymouth Gran Coupe convertible. It has a Hemi scoop, Hemi Cuda logos, but it's not a Hemi car. You might call it a phantom, a car that Chrysler never built, Plymouth never made. Of course, the Gran Coupe was usually available as a coupe. Of course, the convertible was possible, and only 596 Gran Coupe convertibles were built in 1970, making it a fairly rare vehicle unto itself. This one was born in L code 383 two-barrel, decent engine, but that's been changed. It's had a heart transplant to a 426 Hemi under that massive hood, and of course, the shaker hood, all these things are parts from Chrysler parts departments, and they're real, no reproduction stuff. These are factory pieces from Dodge and Plymouth, Chrysler. Let's look under the hood and see the mighty elephant. And there it is, the mighty Hemi with the shaker hood scoop right there. And again, this was a 383 two-barrel car. That's fine, that was then. This is now, and it's been resurrected into the Hemi Cuda Gran Coupe convertible that never was, but it's here. The car doesn't know it's a clone. Has the manual drum brakes all the way around, which is fine. Power steering, added nice thing when you have a 700-pound engine over the front wheel, so power steering is a nice bonus. And it's all factory parts. The power steering stuff is from Chrysler, it's not aftermarket. And just a nice example of what could have been in the world of Hemi Cuda production. And of course, 1970 was the first year for the E-body Barracuda platform, which would go through 1974 model year. Of course, its cousin, the Dodge Challenger. These are Dodge and Plymouth's first muscle car pony cars. And of course, the Hemi was very much possible in the Cuda. Hemi Cudas, we know all about those, great cars. But again, this is the Hemi Cuda Gran Coupe convertible that never was. Inside, the Gran Coupe has some interesting details. Let's take a peek inside. Now, the Gran Coupe and the Gran Coupe convertible were luxurious versions of the Barracuda, and a lot of detailed touches inside. Gran Coupe logos on the door panels here, simulated wood appliques inside of the door panels here to give it a touch of luxury, power windows on this one, and of course the Gran Coupe also came with the rally dash with 150 mile-an-hour speedometer and a tachometer built into the gauge cluster. Specific features to the Gran Coupe, whether it's a coupe or a convertible like this one. This one has been a fitted 727 torque flight right here with the slapstick. We can hit gear at a time, hold it up to 5,000 RPM, hit second and go into drive. Try to run somewhere in the high 13s, mid 13s with this car just as it sits. And nice luxury touches in this one. Great replication of a car that Plymouth never built, but probably should have. And the Gran Coupe came with a lot of cool detail features. Of course, the chrome trim around the back was specific to the Gran Coupe to give it a more luxurious upscale feel. And even the logo back here, Gran Coupe, emulates what we see inside of the car, but it also hides the trunk key location right there. Fold it back, twist the key, turn it, and up pops the trunk. Inside the trunk, we see a nicely restored presentation. And one thing that's kind of cool is this car was built by a place that had access to Plymouth service parts, and everything here is no old stock or NS1, including the Cuda-specific valance with the correct tips, which are correct for a Hemi car, or a Cuda, if you will. But again, these are all brand new parts that were purchased over the counter, never been used on a car before until they were installed on this car. Fresh parts all the way around, no used parts in this thing, it's all quite fresh and new. Inside the back, of course, beyond the spare tire, the space saver spare, here is the original window sticker to the car. And again, it was a 383 two-barrel car. We can see right here, and that was the original motor to this when it was originally built. And again, that was then. This is now. It's got a Hemi. But here's a picture of the car after it was converted to the Hemi with the shaker. The interior, beautifully rendered. And again, here's the total rundown here. The price of this car when it was new was $4,436.95. You know, a great example of provenance and history of the car that comes with it. So a great example here of a Hemi Cuda Gran Coupe convertible, a car that was never built from the factory, but doesn't mean people couldn't build it on their own. That's what's been done here.